when you make claims, you need to substantiate them.
We were having a
You can have a discussion. Why not? You can have a discussion with him here.
No, it's fine. If the gentleman doesn't want to be involved in a conversation, that's fine. That's what I'm just about.
Are you worried about
If you
something?
don't want to be on the camera, you don't have to be.
If you're worried about the camera, they won't record you.
It's facing them.
So what else are you worried
If you don't want to be
about?
on the camera, you won't be recorded. It's fine.
What else are you worried about?
But
You won't be recorded. We told you that.
I actually was talking to him.
You can talk to him still, no
I
problem.
wasn't talking to him.
We can still talk to him. That's that's nothing wrong in that.
No, we didn't.
Speaker's corner, right?
With his camera.
Speaker's corner. You know that. Look. I know there are many Christians who make this claim, bold claims about how can a goat herder be a successful military leader. Yes. Can I ask you, if a carpenter like Jesus can be a successful God? Yes. Well, he's successful, is he not? To the Christians, he's successful God. So a carpenter can become a God, but a goat herder cannot become a successful leader of an army. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
That was funny, Hashim.
I agree with you. It was funny, but the thing is that if that is the logic you can work with, I think the other logic is much easier to comprehend.
Can I call you on that one, Hashim?
No, you didn't. Was he not a carpenter? Was Jesus by trade? Was he not a carpenter?
His father was.
Okay. And the Christians, do they not consider him as God?
Yeah, but
So what did I lie then?
I don't think I was laughing.
it's not a human person, Hashim. It's not the blood and flesh that we consider God.
All right, no problem. Okay, that's fine.
His deity is it's something else. It's a superior. It's like,
How is he superior?
as a Christian, we believe Jesus was incarnate. We don't seek Jesus at the birth of Mary. That's what we believe as a Christian.
So when you say incarnate,
Incarnate is a spirit. He was an existing being as a God who became a man. So the incarnation. So he took on flesh. So he entered into the procedure God has established in the way he will come through the seed of the woman. That's what.
does God change in nature?
Don't go to changing.
Why not?
This is
Does God change in nature?
No. Don't go to change.
Why not?
Don't ask
Because
me
he did
God
change. He did change, did he not?
See, God is outside creation.
Outside creation.
Creation.
I thought Jesus was in the creation.
I'm
He was inside the womb of Mary.
Can I explain to you now? That's what I'm saying. He entered the creation, but God lives outside the creation.
Okay, my question is very simple.
Let me answer you.
You haven't even asked the question yet.
Yes.
You didn't let me ask the question.
I'm clarifying because the perception.
At least let me ask the question and then clarify.
No, you
What
talked
no?
about.
What I talked about.
You talked about Jesus
Yeah.
being a man, a carpenter, all that.
Was he not a carpenter?
He was in the flesh. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Okay.
My
So now
explanation
explain to me
you-
about the nature of God.
Exactly.
Okay,
That's
does
what I'm
God
saying.
change his nature?
No, listen.
Does he or not?
Listen.
No, answer the question.
Okay,
Very
let's-
simple question.
okay, let me
Does
answer you.
God change his nature?
No,
He does not.
No.
Okay.
No. Hear me. Bear with me. I don't want you to, bring confusion. What I want to
I'm
explain
trying to clarify the confusion.
want to explain to you.
Okay, go on.
First of all, the God of creation, who is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, is God who entered creation. Many times he entered the creation.
That wasn't my question.
When you talk about God, does God change?
Change his nature.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
But do you understand the meaning of the question I asked you?
Okay, that's why I'm trying to explain to you.
What?
Has God been outside the creation?
It's nothing to do with outside or inside.
No, he is
When I say change in nature, this is what I mean.
Hear me.
So God was spirit
Can
before.
you hear me give the explanation?
Yeah, but at least try to understand the
Your
question.
God does not enter creation because it's a physical God.
Who said he's a physical God? Where did you get that from?
Allah is not a spirit.
So who told you that?
Allah is not a spirit.
Look, for you to define Allah is spirit or not spirit, who told you that?
Let me explain now.
Don't try to invent what Allah is. Okay?
We know.
Just
all
ask
about
if you know all about it. Okay. Tell me what you know about Allah.
Let's go back.
Let's see.
No, let's go back to the real.
The question you haven't answered yet is, does God change his nature?
That's what I
You
want to
said no. Is
explain
that
to
right?
you.
You said no.
No.
Did you say yes or no? Are you evading the question?
No.
So answer the question. It's very simple. I gave you
I
chance.
can't give you straight
It's a very simple question.
No, I can't.
Okay, ask me the question.
I can't answer you.
Does
I
God
can't
change
answer
his
you.
nature?
I have to
Okay?
explain to you for you to understand.
Let me ask you a question. Does God change his nature?
No,
He doesn't change his nature.
Hashim.
See how quickly that was? I'm asking you.
Time to explain.
How much time do you need?
I am a Christian, we have a certain belief. You are a Muslim, you have a certain belief. And no one can change you, that perception of your belief. So let me explain what we believe, then you may understand.
Okay, so explain to me about the nature of God. Go on. Explain to me the nature of God.
I say first,
as per your belief.
I say, God is outside creation, but God entered the creation, and many times He entered the creation. That's why we have when He entered the creation, when He came before the tent of Abraham, God spoke to Abraham, and we talked with Abraham. In that time when He entered creation, He was a physical person.
God was a physical person.
He was physical.
He's a human.
And Abraham.
What shape did He come in? What shape did He come in?
When I say physical, you are a physical person. Don't bring any like.
Well, I have a form, isn't it? I'm a physical person.
That's what I'm
What form did God come in to Abraham if He came as physical?
He was a human being.
Oh, He came as a human being.
What we know, Abraham saw them and set water before them to wash their feet, and He set food before them, and God ate the food of Abraham.
Okay.
And that's
you've answered my question. Thank you.
That's what I'm saying. So God of.
You know what you have just done?
Sorry. Listen to me. And then
you keep going on and on. You need to have a break between points so we can actually analyze what you're saying.
I'm gonna give.
But if you keep going on, if you're going to give me a whole story which has got no head and no tail, then we just go around in circles. So look.
I'll give you time.
No. But I need to know how long you're going to take. How long do you want? How long do you want?
I'm going to make a point, and then.
Okay. How long do you need?
I'm almost finished.
Okay, good.
Almost finished. So what I'm saying to you, when you're talking about the change, does God change nature? I'm saying to you, God live outside the creation, but God enter creation when He chooses. So He enter creation many times, and evidence is there in Old Testament. In Old Testament. So what I'm saying to you, when God says He will enter creation through the birth of the son of a child, we will be born of the human of a woman, and why He said from the beginning He fulfill it. That's why we don't see Jesus as a being born from Mary, but He entered creation in that way for the only one purpose, to redeem mankind.
Are you done?
The downfall. Yes.
Are you done?
Yes.
Okay. So basically the question was very simple. Does God change His nature?
The nature of God, no one knows the nature of God.
Hold on.
No human being
Hold on. You just told me He became a human.
God, all we know, Jesus said God is a spirit.
Did He not say He became a human?
God, yes. Exactly.
So that is the nature of God, right?
No,
when He became a human, that was His nature.
It is His ability to enter His own creation.
No.
He created.
Have you got a human nature?
I'm a human nature.
Okay. Did Jesus have a human nature?
Yes, when he was incarnated.
Okay. Before He incarnated, did He have a human nature?
No, He didn't.
Good. So He became from a non-human to a human.
Yes.
So that's a change in nature. Thank you.
He enters. It's just that He has the ability to enter because.
No, have you not realized?
That's what I'm saying.
When you are not a human.
No, I'm saying He has the power.
No. You completely misunderstood what I'm asking you. When He was non-human, yes, and then after incarnation He became a human, you changed nature from non-human to human. Do you not realize that? So your God has changed nature.
I give it to you.
It's not about giving it to me.
All I'm saying,
it's contradictory to your Bible, which says God doesn't change nature.
It doesn't contradict. It's the ability, the power He has, who He created is.
So let me ask you this. I think you misunderstood the meaning of nature. Okay? Let me ask you this. Is your nature as a human, does it have certain limitations?
Man is limited, yes.
Okay. When Jesus became a human, does He have limitations?
He became constrained within that human form.
Which is called a limit.
But it's not a limit because.
Why not?
Because the reason why He came within the purpose of His. He was within the purpose of His.
I didn't ask you about the purpose. I asked you about the limitation.
I'm saying the one you're trying to represent as a limit is not such a limit because it was a purpose.
So Jesus could live without eating.
Within the human form, no, you can't live.
So it's a limitation.
You are, if you want to put it.
What do you mean
that
if
way,
you want to
that's
put
fine.
it? Do you not understand simple English?
No.
I'm sorry to say this, but if I'm telling you very clearly that as a human, once he became a human, he has limitations now.
What I'm saying, yes, because he was incarnate, he became a human like you and me.
So he changed his nature from a limitless God to a limited human.
You see,
Do you not realize the change in nature?
What I'm saying to you, what I'm trying to assert is, what you're trying to portray as a limitation, it's an ability to do.
A limitation is not an ability. A limitation is inability, not an ability.
I think it's. I know.
A limitation is inability.
I know your mind behind this.
You know my mind?
Yes, behind it.
So do you know God's mind?
Because
do you know God's mind? Because Jesus, when he was a limited man, he said, "By myself."
Was not a limited.
Okay, so explain. Wait. Explain to me when Jesus said, "By myself I can do nothing." Gone.
Which is
if he wasn't limited. John 5:30, when he said, "By myself I can do nothing."
Okay.
Explain that to me.
Why he said, he could not do outside the will of his Father. So he could not do things of his own.
So he's dependent.
Unless within the will of the Father, which he.
So is he dependent on the Father?
Come and save mankind. That's what he was asserting.
Is he dependent on the Father?
Of course, the Father and the Son are one.
No.
So
is the Son dependent on the Father?
They are one.
If they are one, then why is he saying I can do nothing by myself?
Why is saying? You see,
the Father never made that statement, but the Son did.
Yes, he made.
So that means the Father is not limited, but the Son is limited.
Jesus always said, "I don't do my will. I do the will of my Father."
Exactly.
Which is mean the will of the Father is to redeem mankind. So he came to fulfill that will of the Father, that mankind can be reconciled with the Father.
So you have done two things there. You have done two things. I don't know if you have realized this. One, he's not independent like the Father is. Two, he submits to the Father like a servant submits to a master.
Yes.
Do you agree?
Yes.
Does God have limits?
But that's what I'm coming from. The one
you're
thing
not coming from there.
No.
You're going opposite of what God is.
The one thing you don't understand, Hashim,
Which is
the purpose of something. When that something has a purpose, that purpose has to be fulfilled within God. When he said, are
we talking about the purpose?
No, sir.
Or we are talking about the nature?
No, I'm talking about the purpose.
No, but that wasn't my question.
You see, Jesus.
You see, this is every time they do this. When we ask a question, imagine I ask you a question,
Hashim.
What is your name? And you tell me I live in London. Instead of answering the question which I asked him about the nature, I never asked you about the purpose. Look, if you ask me about the purpose, yes, then you explain to me the purpose. But the thing is, I'm asking you about the nature of God. The nature of God, according to you, he was non. Wait. From what you said, and you agreed this, he, from a non-human God, you said your God incarnated and became a human.
Yes.
So you were before without any limits, without any dependency. Now you are limited and you're dependent.
It's not limited.
Is he not?
You see,
so Jesus was telling a lie when he said, by myself I can do nothing.
Jesus entered the creation. And the creation itself, he has a limitation in the way that it is established.
So he's not equal to the creation now.
So, okay, I'm saying to you, what I'm trying to explain to you
is what?
There's one big point I was trying to make. I'm saying to you, when Jesus entered, you see, when they came in to arrest him, and then Peter pulled the knife, he wanted to, he cut one of the soldiers here.
Yes.
Jesus said, put back your sword.
You mean Peter?
Put back, was it Peter?
He said Paul.
No,
it's okay.
Peter.
It's okay. One of the disciples.
He put back.
He
Put back his. He said, who reign by the sword shall perish by the sword. Which is mean, he says, don't you think that if he could call the Father to send him a legions of angels to come and fight for him?
So he has to ask the Father, yes? Again, dependency.
No.
You're proving my point, my friend.
The reason why he was saying that, because he was in the flesh.
So he was limited.
He was here.
Which is his limited, right?
Which is mean, he was in obedience within the purpose he was sent.
Was he limited when he was a human being?
He was not limited.
He wasn't.
Because
so why does he need to ask the Father to send the legion of angels?
Exactly.
Why can't he himself do it? Summon them instead of asking the Father. Like for example, when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, what does he do? What does he do? Tell me.
Yes.
See if you remember that
no,
part.
I know. He said, Father, Father, why are you forsaken me?
No, that's not in the Garden of Gethsemane. You don't know your Bible well.
Oh, when he prayed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does he do when he prays? What is the action he does?
When
he puts his face.
Yes, when he
puts his face where?
On the ground.
On the ground. And he begs God for what?
No, he says, not my will, but your will.
You only took half the prayer. What is the first part of the prayer? I like it when the Christians completely
Jesus said,
ignore the first part of the prayer.
He said, if possible, Father, remove this cup, but not my will, but your will.
Okay, and what was the will to do what? The will was to do what?
He may die.
To be saved from the cross.
No, he says,
to be saved from the crucifixion, right?
He says, not my will.
Yeah, I know, but the will to do what?
He said, no, Jesus was making clear.
Stop now.
Jesus was making clear. If possible, take away this cup from me, but not my will. But
I know, not his will to do what?
Yes.
To take the cup away. Now let me ask you this. Why is Jesus, if he's not limited, why is he praying to God?
Because they are unity. They're one.
He doesn't need to pray.
No,
does God need to pray?
Yes.
God needs to pray.
You see, when we say prayer is a conversation. To the Christian, prayer is a conversation. And we believe when we pray with God, we have that communication with the Holy Spirit who speak in our heart.
When you say prayer is a conversation.
Sorry, prayer is a conversation with the Christians.
No. When you say prayer is a conversation, let me ask you this.
Yes.
If you are able to do something by yourself, yes? Do you normally ask people to do it?
You see, no.
Did you understand the question? If you are able to do something by your own...
Let me explain.
No, you need to understand the question very well. In order for it to be answered correctly. In order for you, if you have the ability, say for example, you have the ability to stand up when you're sitting. Yes? Do you normally ask other people to help you up?
That's a human.
Well, Jesus was a human.
No. That's a human.
What do you say?
Sphere.
I'm trying to make you understand the difference between a prayer.
We have the ability.
I want you to understand the difference between a prayer, which is you asking God for something you cannot achieve by yourself. Yes? Do you agree that the will of the Father is not the same as the will of the Son?
No, Jesus said, even he said, why am I in trouble? For this reason I was born.
No, don't
It was for this reason
every time I ask you a question, you go somewhere. Is the will of the Father the same as the will of the Son?
It's something people will be judged about how difficult it was.
You're doing it again.
No.
You're not answering the question I'm asking you.
I'm answering the question.
Okay, what is my question?
Let me answer the question.
No, what is my question? Let's see if you even listen to it.
No.
What is my question?
Your point you try to assert is if he was able to suffer and die. That's why he said that for this reason I was born. But the point of him inquiring to the Father, it was just an expression to the world to show us how difficult
it wasn't an inquiry. It was a pleading. He was sweating blood. Okay, so please do not try to sugarcoat what Jesus did in the garden. No, I don't want you to misrepresent Jesus' pleading in the Garden of Gethsemane.
I'm not. Even in the Psalms,
why was he sweating blood if it was just a communication? Imagine somebody sweating blood, he's on his knees and he's begging God, take this cup away from me, let it be your will be done, not mine.
That's a testimony to all human beings.
That's not a testimony. That is him trying to bail out of, like you said, his main purpose was to suffer for mankind.
Exactly.
And when the time came, he wants to bail out.
He did not.
Did he not realize that? Did he not realize that?
He was not willing to bail out.
No, so why is he begging God to take the cup away from him? Why?
To the testimony to the whole humanity that for the Son of God to go through this, it wasn't like because it was God, it was a miracle going to happen. But it is as a human being in the flesh.
So he was scared.
Who suffered.
Was he scared?
And the suffering for our iniquities.
Yeah. Was he scared?
That's you see, You see,
Are you going to answer the question? Any of my questions, are you going to answer?
I'm answering.
I asked you about the will, you completely ignored that.
The will is
I
the
asked you
same.
about the nature
No,
of
the
God.
will is
Once
the
again,
same.
you
No.
even after saying
When I
he
said
became
the
a human,
will,
you still
the
ignored
will
it.
the same because
No, the will is not same. Jesus says,
No,
let it be
Jesus
your will,
affirmed-
not my will.
Jesus affirmed, for this reason I was born. For this reason I was born.
So why is he asking God to take the cup away then?
But that's what I'm bringing
Why?
to you, to the suffering to bear all the sins of humanity. It wasn't that easy thing for him to go through.
So he
But
was hesitating.
Did it for you and
Was he
me.
hesitating?
He did it for you and me.
Was he
That
hesitating?
we may see the value of what he
See,
did.
you know what you're doing here? You think you're in the church and you can preach to your
I'm
congregation.
explaining to you
Hold on.
the scripture.
Are you by chance some sort of a pastor?
Everyone is a pastor.
Everyone?
Is a Christian.
I'm not a pastor.
We have been sent to make all nations disciples of Jesus. So I have to preach to others.
So you are preaching.
No, but
This is not a church, my friend.
Preaching means to explain the word.
Okay, so explain the question I'm asking you.
That's what I'm
Okay.
explaining to you.
Why was
explaining
Jesus sweating blood?
But that's what I'm saying to you.
That's what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying.
It's the pain he was going to go through, the suffering to bear the sins of all humanity. Your sins, my sins, and every man was born of a woman and a man.
And if that
That's what.
so he was scared. Is that what you're trying to tell us?
It's the pain, the suffering. He
Was
prepared.
Jesus scared as a
He
human? or not?
wasn't scared.
So why did he ask God to show him another way? Take the cup away from me. Because he asked 3 times. Look, he asked 1, 2, and 3 times for his God to take the cup away from him. Yes, by the will of God, by the will of his God, not by Jesus' will, by the will of his God. Remember?
That's what I say. For
Remember?
this
Wait
reason I was
a minute.
born.
Wait a minute.
He
You keep
affirmed the will.
For some reason, you're stuck in this.
I'm
Mind
not
is stuck in your mind with this. The reason is born. The reason is born.
exactly.
Imagine this: if you are in the army, or if you are in the army, yes, you train your entire life in the army in order to fight a war. So whenever your general summons you, that you will be ready to fight a war. When the time for war comes, yes, you start to sweat, and you start to shiver, and you start to tell your commander that please, if there is any other way, yes, show me by your will, if there's another way, save me from going to war, that war. Now, what would the general tell him?
In a human understanding, like you and me, we will say
The Bible is meant for human understanding, is it not?
Sorry, no.
The Bible is meant for human understanding.
Jesus said, "The word I speak to you are spirit,
Yeah.
are spirit."
Okay. What would the commander tell that? What would the commander tell that young soldier?
In a human understanding,
Yeah. What would you tell him?
we will say the person
Yeah, is what? He's a coward.
is overwhelmed with
Fear.
is overwhelmed maybe
fear.
with anxiety or fear or whatever. We can put it down.
Okay.
We can put it
Was
down.
Jesus not overwhelmed with any of this?
wasn't. He
Okay.
wasn't.
So he was, for no reason, he's telling his God, take the cup away from him. For no reason.
Yes.
Okay. No reason.
No,
Are you sure?
There was a reason.
So what was the reason
The
for?
reason,
Wait.
that's
What was the
I'm
reason?
saying.
What was the reason?
The reason, that's what I'm saying. It was to be known to the humanity that what he has to endure, it wasn't as just like a magic thing, but it was a painful and suffering in the flesh, because he was going to suffer all this, not in his spiritual
For whom?
being,
For whom it
but
was
in the
painful?
physical.
For whom it was painful?
For him to bear the sins of all mankind.
Okay. So when you say pain, did Jesus feel pain on the
Yes,
cross?
he did.
He
He
did.
was in the
Now let
flesh.
me ask you this: do you believe Jesus is one person or 2 persons?
Jesus,
No, don't think it's funny.
Why?
You know, there's a heresy in the Christian church. There are people who actually believe that Jesus was 2 persons.
Jesus
It's
is
called
one
the heresy of Nestorianism. And the reason this was a heresy is because many Christians actually believe this. And that is the reason I'm asking you. Do you believe Jesus is 1 person or 2 persons?
Jesus is one person who entered creation. When he entered creation, he became a fleshly person, but he was still this spiritual nature.
Okay.
He
Was he?
still have it.
So you're saying, you mentioned 2 things. You mentioned that he was 1 person, and he has a spiritual nature and a human nature. Am I right?
He became-
Now this is where I want you to listen very carefully. You mentioned earlier that he felt pain. Yes? Let me ask you this. does the human nature and the spiritual nature, is it attached to the first person of the Trinity, second person of the Trinity, or the third person of the Trinity?
The flesh nature is just an ability he used to enter, but is not a human as such.
No. Did the second person of the Trinity, yes, take upon the nature of a human?
Yes,
He did. So he has a human nature, and he already had a divine nature.
But that's what I explained to you.
But I'm clarifying. I know you explained this, but I want you to understand before I ask you the question. I want to
That's what I said at
clarify.
the beginning. God, who created, is outside the creation.
Yeah, it's not about
But he
outside
has
and inside the
ability
creation.
to enter
It's about the
creation.
nature of God.
Exactly.
Whether he was
That's what I'm
outside or
saying.
inside.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he entered. When he entered the creation in time of Abraham, he became a human being, just like Jesus became a human being, and God ate the food. He washed the feet.
Can you at
Abraham,
least?
he ate the
You're
food
agreeing
of
with me.
Abraham.
You're agreeing with me.
Yeah, but that's
so.
what I'm
So
saying.
I want to.
So
The reason. Wait. The reason I asked you is in order for me to clarify to you, so I don't misrepresent you. Okay. So we believe that Jesus felt pain.
Yes,
We agreed that,
on
okay?
the cross, yes.
On the cross, yeah, according to your belief, of course.
He suffered for us.
Then you also, before that, when he was incarnated, he took upon a human nature. So before it was only the divine nature, now he has the nature of a human and the divine nature, and that's the reason it's called the hypostatic union. The two natures.
You see, what is spiritual, yeah?
Do you believe in the hypostatic union or not? Very simple. Now. Come on. Let's not complicate it.
What I'm trying to explain to you is, you and me, we cannot come out of our spiritual, of our body. You know, that ability.
I'm not talking about us. I'm
but
talking
that's
about the
what I'm
second
saying
person
to
of the
you.
Trinity.
That's what I'm saying to you. What I'm saying to you.
But why are you complicating it? Let me at least finish the question, then you can come in.
I don't
I just want,
complicate. I
look,
don't complicate.
the reason I told you hypostatic union, do you know what is a hypostatic union? What is it?
When you talk about two natures.
Yeah, the two natures. So the second person of the Trinity is known to have the two natures, the divine and the human. Okay?
When it
Now wait
enters-
a minute. So it is still one person, but has two natures.
Yes, it
Okay.
enters.
You know the natures are always linked to a person. Yes? The natures are not separate from the person, they always link to the person. Hi Bob, you alright?
How you doing, Hashim? You
Yes?
okay?
We're talking about the nature of Jesus Christ.
Very smart, sir.
Oh, thank you very much.
He tried, but you can't get there.
Outdressed both of us.
Yes. Maybe you can maybe help your friend maybe.
No, I'm not struggling. The one thing you don't understand, Hashim,
Yes.
is God, who is a creator, in his nature, he has the ability to enter his own creation.
Yeah, I'm not denying that you don't believe that.
When he entered the creation,
Yes.
he is able to do all things. Like I explained to you, when he appeared before the tent of Abraham, he entered the creation and he was able even to eat the things of the creation. So the food of Abraham.
I didn't ask you all that. I don't know why you're bringing that up.
No, because that's.
I agree, that is what you
that's why
believe.
you're struggling.
No. It's not that I'm struggling.
No, you're struggling a lot.
This is where I asked you the question. The question is very simple. Before Jesus incarnated, yes, did he have the human nature?
But that's what I'm saying. His ability to enter nature and take the form of that nature.
Maybe
So
Bob might
like a
understand this
human
question
being.
better. Bob, before Jesus entered the creation, before Jesus incarnated as a human being, did he have a human nature?
No.
Thank you. See how simple that
It's
is?
the same.
Yes?
That's what I'm
No.
saying.
What
What I
But I
explained
haven't
to
heard
you.
him say anything different.
Yes.
No, but he has been
What I
going
said-
round in
what-
circles
no, what-
just to answer
what-
yes or
what
no.
I said to
He
you-
goes around.
What I
Okay.
said to you.
Now let me ask you the
No,
second
sorry,
question.
no, let me
We
make a
agree,
point.
so let's
No,
move
Let's
on.
make a point on that.
Okay, go on.
What I'm trying to explain to you, that's what I explained you through example.
What?
In the Old Testament, God entered the creation and he became a human being. So which is mean his nature is not a fleshly nature, but when he enters, he takes it.
Can I ask you
That's
three
all.
quick questions?
No. We are in the
That's
middle of a
what I'm
discussion. Now, if you want to stick to the same topic, then yes. But if you're going to change the topic, the answer is no.
Is your objection that God can't enter into his creation?
No, my objection is this. God doesn't change nature.
Agreed.
If you agree with me with the other point,
I don't agree with you. I agree
no.
with the council
I asked you the
that
question and
calls
you already
Yeah, of
agreed.
course.
Yes, that before Jesus' incarnation, yes, he did not have the human nature.
Agreed.
So now we have a non-human nature of God pre-incarnation, and post-incarnation we have a human nature. So Jesus has got now two natures, whereas
May I
before, first you need to understand the point I'm making.
You make it every week, Hashim. I know what your point is.
No, the point
You
I
make
was,
the same
the
point
point,
every week.
no, it's not the same point every week.
been answered
The thing is,
many
every,
times, doesn't it?
every,
Just comes right.
He wants his answer.
are you going to let me finish?
I like Hashim.
Are you going to
and
let me
I respect
finish?
him.
Good.
But the thing is, you do come round every week asking this. You look for Christians who can't defend the faith, and you play the same game with them again and again and again.
Is he one of them?
I have no idea. I've only just met him.
Okay, so why do I get different answer from every Christian then?
I know
Because
my
it's
faith.
just like with Muslims
I
that
know
I
my
ask,
faith.
not everyone is as knowledgeable. I ask Muslims and I get different answers.
You ask about the Aqidah and they will all give you the same answer,
That is
Bob.
not true at all.
This is part of the Aqidah. Okay, so do you agree? Let's see if you agree or disagree with this. Do you agree that God doesn't change his nature?
God doesn't change his nature.
Okay, so change in nature, bro. Please let us finish the discussion, and then other people can join it. To me, becoming a human from non-human is a change in nature. Do you disagree or agree with that?
No, I disagree with you.
Okay, why do you disagree with that?
Because at the Council of Chalcedon, and this is my point, Hashim, as much as I like you as a guy, let me, no.
Just answer the question without being
I am going to answer the question. Yeah?
Go on.
Right? You come every week looking for Christians.
Can you
who
just
can't
answer
defend
the
their
question
faith.
instead of going into
I am
a
going
diatribe
to.
about something
I
we
am
don't want to
going
listen
to.
to?
I am going to.
Just answer the question.
I am going to.
I said it's a change in
Hashim,
nature.
Hashim,
Tell me why you
you
disagree.
do
That's all I
this
want to
every
know.
week, and what it demonstrates is the fact that.
Are you going to answer the question,
I'm
Bob?
going to.
Others, I'll go speaking to
Hashim,
him.
You know full well that I will answer your question.
So without the extra commentary,
Let me and you have established a kind of dialogue where certainly from my side, there's more respect.
okay, Bob.
Yeah? So let me.
If you're saying you have respect for me, then respect
I am going
my
to
request
answer
to
your
you to answer the
I am going
question
to answer the question
without
But always,
anything else other than
as always,
He's
I'm
free to
going.
answer any way he
Thank
wants.
you very much.
Was that?
Thank
Yes,
you.
yes.
I can
No,
answer
I'm
how
not
I
saying
want.
answer the way I
He
want.
doesn't want me to.
I want him to
Here's the
look.
problem.
When I ask you what is your name, I don't want you to tell me
Brother.
I live in London and then
Brother.
I was born in this
So I'll talk
place.
to
You know what I
because
mean?
Hashim doesn't want to hear the answer, so I'll talk to you.
Okay, answer the question.
So the fact is, Hashim comes round
yes,
every
again.
week and he's looking for Christians who he can target and hit with these questions.
Don't
who
ask
can't
him
defend
again,
the faith. And just like there are Muslims in the park that don't know how to defend Islam, Hashim not being one of them, incidentally.
Thank you very much for your addition.
The reality is that if he had bothered to research the Council of Chalcedon, the Council of Chalcedon answers all of Hashim's questions.
Why don't you answer, Bob?
Because the Council of Chalcedon says that the two natures are not confused or intermingled.
Yes.
So the divine nature does not change as it takes on the human nature. It remains unchanged, and the Chalcedon Council is very clear about that. It is also very clear about this other point that you keep going around.
No, you haven't answered the question. Don't go to the point. No,
I have.
Wait a minute. So before you had only the divine nature, and then another nature gets added on. To me, an addition. For example, if that is pure water, wait. If that is pure water in there, Bob, I gave you time to respond. Now it's my turn.
Yes.
Okay, to basically answer to what you have already said. If this water in your hand, yes,
Yeah.
if I add red color to it, a red dye,
Yes.
is it still the water that was before?
Yes, H2O is still.
Has it changed? No, it's not H2O. I'm saying the nature.
drink it, it's not clean.
No, wait a minute. When you add impurity to water, it is no more just H2O. It's got some other elements in it as well.
No, actually, if we're going to use this analogy,
Yes.
then let's be consistent with the analogy. Because H2O remains H2O. You can't drink it, it is polluted, but it remains H2O.
What made it polluted?
What the other element that you've added to it?
Okay, so has the nature changed from pure to polluted? Oops, sorry. My apologies.
No, the question is whether the nature has changed,
Yes, has it changed?
not whether the attributes have changed.
The attributes also changed.
No,
because when you add,
you've confused two things
listen,
there.
listen.
Your analogy.
Listen.
No, you're breaking.
Should I
down
tell
your whole
you? Should I tell you how the
No,
nature has
Hashim,
changed?
You're
When you
breaking down
add
your
color,
own
listen.
analogy.
When you add color to it,
You're breaking
wait,
down
wait.
your own analogy.
Listen, Bob. When you add color to water, yes, the color has something other than just H2O. Yes, that is what makes it impure. Like you said, you cannot drink it anymore.
But the H2O is
Wait a
still
minute.
H2O.
Wait a minute. I agree. The H2O is there, so the water is there. I'm not denying that. However, there is something in addition to that.
Yes, the attributes have changed.
Good. I agree.
Yes. However, the essence
Finally.
has not.
Okay. When you say
essence has
wait,
not.
what does the essence mean?
The essence, the substance, the thing that it is.
Nature, right?
The substance that it is.
Nature. It's the nature of the water.
Wait, well,
the nature,
what
the
you
pure nature of water has now become polluted.
No. The thing is,
The essence has changed.
no, Hashim. There's the point. He doesn't want to deal with it.
It doesn't matter.
You know,
Bob,
you know the essence has changed. The reason you're not drinking.
Even if you add other elements to it,
No.
H2O, it doesn't change its chemistry. If it changes its chemistry, it's not H2O.
No.
There you go.
You do
That's
not
basic
understand
Hashim,
chemistry.
101.
Wait, if you had studied chemistry, you will know that adding anything to an existing element is now changing its nature.
As its atoms
Okay,
changed.
was it? Whose atoms?
H2O. Are you saying that H2O becomes H23? Or?
No, I didn't say
Exactly.
that.
So it remains H2O, does it not?
When you add something to an existing element,
Bro, you're bankrupt. On
I'm
this
not.
argument,
I'm not.
mate.
You have completely
You're bankrupt on this argument.
misunderstood what essence
You
means.
confuse your audience all the time.
You have confused what
You're
it means.
confused all the time.
That is the
You
reason.
confuse attributes with essence, and they're not the same.
This is the guy who
That's
said
what you do.
God doesn't have the attribute of mercy and justice. Do you remember the last
And
conversation?
you were the one that said, "Yeah, I did."
You denied
that's right.
God's attributes. This
No,
guy.
I denied.
In order
that
to
there
win
was
an
no
argument.
attributes, not that God has
But
attributes.
in order to
Different.
win an argument, you
And
denied
said-
God's attributes.
And you said that God could be merciful without anyone being merciful for.
yes.
He can.
Yeah, of course.
He can.
Who to?
Okay,
It's
I'll give you an
his nature.
example. I'll give you an example of that. When God created Adam, yes, do you know that before Adam was even created, 40 years before that, God had already decided that he'll go to earth and God will bless him and honor him, yes, and he'll be merciful to him as well. In fact, God has created the hell and heaven before the humans who are going to be put into hell and heaven. So putting them in heaven is his mercy.
Language betrays you.
Wait a minute.
He will be merciful.
What do you mean he will be
That's
merciful?
what you said. He will be merciful to Adam.
Okay.
So in other words, there cannot be mercy without a transaction.
Can he finish?
Your Allah
Can you let him
has an
finish?
attribute
Bob,
that is dependent upon another.
So for the guy who refuses that justice and mercy are God's attributes, it'll be a bit difficult for you to understand it. So please bear with me. Mercy, before creating them, creating the heaven and the paradise. Yes, because in Arabic the term heaven can mean skies as well. So the paradise or Jannah was created before the humans are put in there. Now why would God...
You're confusing foreknowledge with mercy. They are not
No,
the
I'm
same.
talking about existing...
You're mixing up your
I'm talking
attributes of your God.
I'm talking about the
Saying
Jannah.
that
Wait.
knowledge and mercy are the same thing. They're not.
Are the humans in
They're
Jannah
not.
now? Are the humans in Jannah now?
I don't have your beliefs.
Okay, I didn't say you have. I'm asking a question. I want to
can't
know.
answer yours
I want
for
to
that.
know if you know at least the basics of my belief.
I don't know if in your beliefs.
Say I don't know, then I'll tell you what it is. Okay. So Allah has already created the Jannah and the Jahannam. Yes, hell and heaven, paradise. He's already created this before anyone even entered it. Now Allah creating the Jannah before the humans
It's not mercy.
are even put in there shows the love and the mercy of Allah to his, because it is the mercy of Allah, remember, which is the reason
It is dependent on a transaction.
no, it's not.
That
It's
means
not.
one of
It is
the
the mercy of
attributes
Allah which will
one of
allow
the
them
attributes of
to
Allah
enter the
is
Jannah.
dependent on others.
Now,
and that
Bob, like I said,
contradicts-
you won't
that
understand because you don't believe God.
The other attribute of
it
Allah, which
doesn't.
says that Allah is all
Now-
sufficient and depends on no one.
I told you, the Jannah is
Allah
created
can't be
before they were
all
put in there.
sufficient and depend on no one, and then depend on others to show mercy to.
For a
The very
person,
fact,
for a person
even
who
in
doesn't
your
believe,
example,
Yeah.
the very fact that He creates heaven and hell
Yes.
with the intention of putting people there
Yes.
demonstrates that it is about an action. It is about an action of something that Allah is going to do.
Where's the
And you
transaction?
The transaction.
where is the transaction?
The transaction.
The transaction hasn't happened yet.
Has He been merciful to anyone then?
When? Of course he has.
How could He have been merciful to someone when there was no one to be merciful to?
First and foremost, you
It's a
need to...
contradiction,
No,
Hashim.
it's not. It's not.
It really is.
No, shall I tell you why? Like I said, for a person who doesn't believe that God's attribute is mercy, for you it will be difficult to understand. So let me repeat this again. Mercy is one of the attributes of Allah. This is something that Muslims will all agree.
So give me an
Can I finish?
example of
Can I finish?
mercy without a
Let me
transaction.
finish without you interrupting. Give me at least 2 minutes, okay? Without you interrupting. So the mercy, there's two things. One is Allah having the attribute of mercy. The other is Allah putting this into action.
Doing it.
Okay? So Allah putting it into action, that is something which we know as based on time dependency. But Allah already having the attribute of mercy, it is not something that is time dependent. He always has it, always have always will have it.
He doesn't change.
Now this is his nature.
become a merciful
So
after
part of his
being
essence is being merciful. Now this, whether he wants to show mercy to someone or show his wrath to someone, that is depending on the action of those people. So now, if you understand the difference between this, the attribute, and implementing the attribute, yes, then you will understand that Allah shows mercy to whom He wills, and Allah doesn't need to show mercy to whom He doesn't want to show mercy. And creating the heaven and the hell before even the creation of the humans, or before even before them entering into Jannah and Jahannam, shows that Allah already showed mercy to mankind before they were created even, because He's already given them a place in paradise, yes, before they were even created, or before even they did an action of goodness. This is the mercy of Allah before. So there's no transaction happening here at all, but He's already. So now we have actually, I don't know how we have drifted into this topic, but I would like to come back to the topic of God changing His nature from a non-human. From a non-human
2 minutes.
to human.
I'll give you 2 minutes.
Yeah,
for
good. Go on.
Now be kind and give me 2 minutes for that.
Fair enough. Go on.
Your whole argument is dependent on the idea that Allah, in His foreknowledge, prepares something that is going to happen.
He's already prepared it.
No, I didn't interrupt you, Hashim.
Fair enough.
Restrain yourself.
understand.
Restrain yourself. The reality is that there is a transaction. It is a transaction that will come on Judgment Day, when Allah shows His mercy to some and doesn't show His mercy to others. The fact that He prepares the scene of this transaction based upon His foreknowledge of its happening doesn't change the fact that the act of the transaction is the act of mercy. It is the act of Him giving His mercy to those that He sends to heaven, and holding His mercy back to those that He sends to hell. That is the transaction. The fact that He prepares all of this in advance only demonstrates that Allah has foreknowledge. It doesn't demonstrate that mercy is not based upon a transaction. Now, the fact of the matter is, here's the contradiction.
What is it?
It says that one of the 99 attributes of Allah is that He is all sufficient. He is dependent on no one. You would agree with me. But for someone to be merciful, they must have someone to show mercy to, which means that Allah's mercy is dependent upon another, and that means that there is a contradiction between the idea of Allah being all merciful and Allah being all sufficient. He can't be both. There is an internal contradiction to your logic.
No, it's not.
Now, I'm going to leave you to go back to your debate with this brother.
Oh, you're going away?
I'm sorry, yes.
So basically,
You can say I've run away.
no, not running away. I know,
no,
but Bob,
but the
Bob,
point is,
wait a minute. What,
I'm going to leave you with this thought.
You mentioned
I'm
about
going to leave you with this thought. Hashim,
fine. No.
Hashim,
You mentioned about
before you should go, brother. I really
If
like
he
it.
wants to go, that's fine.
Right, you should go, brother, and
Go
you
where?
should go and study the Council of Chalcedon and what it says, because you're
Change
basing
in
your
nature.
argument-
You haven't actually disputed
You're
that.
basing
Change in
no, I
nature.
have.
From a
I've
non-human
said-
to a human
don't put
is a
words in my
change in
mouth.
nature.
I have said
You can say-
exactly
you can
the
say
opposite,
Chalcedonian
that
or-
the
or
eternal
Greek or
nature
whatever.
does not change.
Adding on a new nature is a
On
change.
A human nature does not change.
I think he really
the
has to
divine
understand.
nature.
Adding on a nature
That's
is a
what
change
I
in nature.
said.
Bob, you
That's what I
can
said.
keep shouting, but it doesn't change the point.
You're just ignoring that point.
Adding on a nature,
All you
is
do-
a change in nature.
I noticed you interrupted me before my 2 minutes were come.
No, your 2 minutes over a long time ago.
All the time.
Your
All
2
the
minutes
time.
over.
He's-
Okay,
Anyway,
Bob,
bro.
take
You
care.
know it. Peace
All
be
right.
with you.
So what I say, look, wait. Adding on a nature is a change in nature.
Doesn't change.
Whether you agree or not.
No, it doesn't change. You and me, we don't have the ability to enter the realms, the spiritual realms. We don't. We are.
It's not about the
limited.
ability. It's not about the ability.
No,
It's a change in
I
nature.
want to reverse.
What?
I want to reverse.
Reverse what?
I want to reverse this process where God can enter our creation, but we can't enter His creation. You understand? God is outside.
It's not about entering. You keep. You know your problem is you are the one who completely misunderstands the question.
I'm
Wait
explaining to
a
you.
minute. Earlier on, you told me Jesus feels pain. You also agree that Jesus has a human nature and a divine nature. And wait a minute. Let me finish. Listen, the human nature and the divine nature are always present with a person. The natures do not float by themselves. They always attached to to a person. Now let me ask you this: which person of the Trinity felt the pain?
It's Jesus who entered the creation.
So the second person of the Trinity?
He entered it. You see, there's one thing I explained to you.
This is frustrating.
That's
honestly.
what I wanted to clarify.
No, but Hashim,
Hear me.
I'm going to be around.
Hear me. Don't get mixed up.
When you going to come out?
I'm saying to
are you listening to what I said?
Yes.
Okay, so which person of the
No,
Trinity felt the
listen.
pain?
That's what I'm saying.
Are you going to answer the question?
No, yes, I'm answering.
Which question are you going to
That's what
answer?
I explained to you.
Which question are you going to answer?
Just let me answer.
No, look.
Am I not
You know,
free?
I'm going to end this discussion if you're not going to answer.
Am I free to answer?
Yeah, but which question are you going to answer?
You have just to wait.
Okay, I'm going to go away. Unless you tell me which question you're going to
It's the
answer.
same question I'm answering.
Which question?
That's what I said to
I
you.
want to know
No,
if you heard the
the
question.
pain Jesus suffered, which he felt as a human being, yeah, when he went to the cross.
Which person of the Trinity felt the pain?
Hashim, can
Okay,
you,
I think we have to end it here because a person, if you're not sincere, because at the end of the day,
you
look,
want an answer you want to hear.
No.
But you don't want to answer according to my faith. That's
no,
I can't go anywhere.
I don't mind if you
No, you
answer
want-
according to your
no,
faith, but you need to
don't
tell
want to
me
accept it.
which question.
No, be in a debate. I'm free to answer the way I want to answer.
Yeah,
it.
answer the question.
You cannot force me to answer the way you want.
I didn't ask. I didn't force you to answer
Exactly.
it.
So bear with you. You've been debating for a long time. Suffer a bit.
Can you
Listen.
repeat?
Can you-
repeat the question I asked you? Others, I'm going to go away.
You said who's the person, the second person of a Trinity who suffered the pain?
See, this is what I mean.
That's your
You
question.
see, that is the reason I keep asking him what question did I ask you.
But what is the
Because this
question?
person
What is
has
the
got
question?
this nasty habit of not listening to the question. I asked you, which person of the
second
Trinity,
person, yes.
which person of the Trinity felt the pain?
But exactly, it's the same question.
So which person?
That's
Which
what I'm
person,
asking. For me to make you understand,
Yeah.
that's what I want to answer the question within the way for you to understand.
Okay, go on.
So that's what I said.
Hopefully you heard it this time.
Jesus, as a person who unto creation, bear the suffering in the flesh is what? It's a similar to God when he entered creation before Abraham. He ate the food because he was in the physics.
So Jesus suffered.
Sorry.
Jesus suffered.
I don't know why he does that.
Listen to me. You have to understand because there's a many way God enters.
We want to know who suffered.
Who suffered?
Sorry.
From the three, who
Let's say
suffered?
the name and that's it.
When God ate the food,
You know, it's a
who ate the food?
Are you just
Who
asking
ate the
who
food?
suffered?
Who
Yeah.
ate the food?
Okay. You know,
Sorry,
thank you very much.
Which is the
No,
body?
no,
who
I
ate
think
the
we're done
food?
with you. Look, because at the end of the day, this is what happens. When we ask them a simple question,
He moved away.
they
He moved
start
away.
beating it on the bush. Okay, it's very simple.
You want
If Jesus,
your answers.
look, you got your chance. Now please have some respect and let me finish the summary.
That's the thing.
Goodbye. So this is what happens. According to Bob the Builder and this gentleman, Jesus, the second person of the Trinity, did not change the nature. But what Bob the Builder here does not understand is that when you add a new nature, that is basically what a change means. Change is what? To take away from the existing or to add on to the existing. That is a change by the definition of what a change is. Now, if Bob the Builder doesn't understand the simplicity of chemistry, even, like he said, when I add an impurity or color to an existing bottle of water, then that nature of the water has now changed. Yes, the water which was there is still existing in there, but it has added on. Now we have added on something in addition to just the H2O, which is the color, which itself has its own minerals in it, which gives it that color. And when you add extra mineral to H2O, then you are now got H2O plus the mineral. Hence, you got a change in essence of what was just pure H2O before. Now this is a very simple concept to understand, and I do not know why the Trinitarians do not understand this. Because at the end of the day, adding or subtracting to an existing nature, to me, is a change in nature. And if anybody else disagrees with that, whether you go and learn some Chalcedonian creed or whatever creed, if you add on a new nature, because Jesus wasn't human before, according to them. The second person of the Trinity before the incarnation was just divine, according to them. He wasn't human. When he became human, then that is now two natures. So before it was only one nature, now it's two nature. Unless Bob the builder doesn't understand that one is not equal to two, yes, then this is the simple maths. Maybe he will have to go and study again in nursery, because every child will understand that one is not equal to two and two is not equal to one. Two natures is not equal to one nature. Remember this. According to them, the Father has one nature. The Holy Spirit has one nature. However, the Son has two natures. So the Father, the Holy Spirit are not equal in nature to the second person of the Trinity, who will always have two nature for eternity. Very simple. Yes? Very simple to understand. And that is the reason I have to repeat it every time, so the Christians will understand. If they do not understand, then Allah help them, God help them. Inshallah, may Allah give them hidayah. Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.